What up? It's your boy, Hash Info. Let's check this one out. Draw Joust. I don't mind this one. Two shades. Two shed. Alright, let's see what we can do with this thing. Oh man, did we bulldoze that guy, eh? Oh, just donked him, bud. Having breakfast for dinner here. It's actually my lunch. I could probably call this brunch and get away with it. How you doing? That was really good. Hi, Tiggs. Hi. You still hungry? You got food in your bowl, go eat it. He just comes to say hi a lot. He's, yeah, I've been getting meowed at for a long time. A very long time. And to say I have a lot of patience. And, not a lot of people would even have half this much patience. He's very, very, very demanding. And that's not good, you know. But, on the other hand, you have to think, well, you got the cat, right? I mean, technically, absolutely I didn't, but my Dalmatian had just passed on into energy a few years back, and I don't know. I'd like to have animals and things, but I live in the city and my life has changed since living in the city, so I would not, if it was absolutely my choice, I wouldn't have got an animal. But that's just how it goes sometimes. And now I'm taking care of this lovely, beautiful hearted creature that, you know, it sucks to say, but I didn't want a creature, you know, a beautiful creature of the earth. I didn't want any more. It's a lot of work, you know, it's very stressful. I love, once you are in my house and part of my family, I love you, right? Someone take care of you, but stress for you and things like that. And when you're sick, I'm gonna do everything I can to get you better, but that's not, you know, you know, some people say don't stress about the things you can't fix. I think that's also fucked up because of the fact that, you know, just because you can't fix it doesn't mean you shouldn't think about it or try to find a way to solve something. We're very powerful in people, right? People are very powerful. Not all. If you have a strong mind, you are to be not taken lightly, right? So there's people who just dumb as shit, right? And then there's people who have a strong mind that maybe never found their calling, never got the leg up from somebody or something, you know, and so many people are looked down upon, you know, unless your daddy's rich or your mommy's rich or your grandparents stole from hundreds of thousands of people back in the day, or you were a lawyer and you lied and cheated and stealed, or your family's a lawyer. there's not a lot of room for people to be successful in all aspects, right? I see it all the time. You know, people thinking that they do it all, but their mom funds their grow up. Um, I know a bunch of people that have weed companies in Canada, and it's all funded from old dirty money. From your families. So it's crazy. They actually did a report. A study found that a lot of the Canadian licensed producers in Canada were funded with illegal funds, and it's crazy. These companies have changed hands 4 and 5 times now. So the company isn't the original anymore. It's been sold off or this and that, squandered. But the problem is that that was their intention in the first place. So even though the company has changed hands 5 times, the entire grow facility was purchased with cocaine funds from Colombia. Um, how the fuck is it still operating even though it was an illegal operation in the beginning? Oh, but now 16 cops own it and, all across Canada, and it's changed hands since the first owner. Well, how the fuck do you think that deal went down? Like, how in the fuck do you think these deals go down? Our country is so being, you know, eaten up by the largest criminal gangs in the world. And I'm talking about some of the biggest countries in the world have their feet in criminal activity here in this province in Canada and in other provinces. And, mayors are in on this shit. City councilors all across Canada are in on this shit. You got people working on the police boards that are city councilors that are in on this shit. So it's not cool. You get all these people saying, oh, vote conservative now, the liberals fucked up. Who do you think started all this? Like the conservative power when there was a mine up in Flin Flon. Molson Brewery back in the 90s was fucking found with, fucking hundreds of millions of dollars worth of pot plants in it. Molson Brewery. The cops went and busted it, and they're like, oh shit, we never knew that shit was in here. These are corporations. This is scum of the earth. Drug dealers, like petty drug dealers, were growing inside of some brewery. Never got arrested. Fingerprints and cum stains all over everything. Enough genetic material to, bust their entire line of family. But no, not one charge was laid. Fuck, it's ridiculous. And fucking my friend grows, 40 plants in his backyard and goes to jail for 5 years. This is the reality. So, I saw a movie, it was a true story, and they say when you go to jail, you're going to do white time. And if you're black, you're going to do black time. And the difference is the same charge, the same charges, the same age, the same sex, the same day they were committed. The black person gets 10 times lengthier sentence. Well, it's not just black people. It's actually poor people can get the same sentence given the maximum. It's not the white end, which is the minimum. It's the maximum is thrown at you. But poor people in Canada are absolutely at high risk of facing long-term jail sentences, not because they don't have a fucking millionaire lawyer that, blows every dude and every cop in the police station. It's because these people are connected. They have friends and family that are lawyers, that are cops, that are judges. So it's crazy what's out there. I'll give you another example. These are all true stories. Here's another one. Back in the day, there used to be a paper, and in the paper, an older friend of mine, but a very well-respected family, a kid was caught with 2 roaches in his ashtray. He was charged with marijuana offenses. This is in the 90s. You won't ever find this in the paper, nothing. And he was charged with 2 roaches in his ashtray. It fucking ruined his life. They put it in the paper. I almost said which paper. They put it in the paper. and labeled him and his family and this and that. And this was in the 90s when, fuck, you didn't want your name in the paper. People talked about you, this and that, eh? So, well, what happened was, not that long after, there'd been a cop that did some weird shit to his wife, found out he was on pills, all kinds of shit, beat his wife, she left him. Everyone knew. Thousands of people knew the story. She told everyone. Fucking, the cop never fucking lost his job. The cop never went to jail. The cop never got charged. A year later, the cop was given some sort of commendation for like a serious commendation for in the line of duty. And I think to myself, what kind of city do I live in where Buddy's charged with two roaches. Guy beats his wife. He's on serious drugs, probably selling this stuff too. Like you don't fucking know what they do with the shit that gets confiscated. Well, I'll tell you right now. I know for a fact that lockers across Canada, drug lockers, have been light. And there's tons of stories on this, but you can't find them all the time. But I got people sending me stuff, information right now, cases and things going on, and past and present. But people involved weren't, chiefs of police back then. They were just sergeants or whatever they were. But now they're in charge of, or they were. Some of them just recently lost their positions in the last year or two. So I'm going to run stories on these people that were in high power, didn't have the proper investigations done on them, or if they did, they were covered up. Okay. Now this is the police covering up for police. How dangerous do you think that is? And this is what JFK was talking about in the inaugural speech, that when you give somebody power, you have to watch them closely, because when you give somebody so much power, and we're like really slow to get police body cameras here in Canada. Fucking police are dragging First Nations Aboriginal people out of their vehicles. Guy's a chief. They drag him out and just humiliate this guy. It's on video. No, I don't think hardly anything has been done to this day. So don't think it's just happening to black people or just Aboriginal people or, they say minorities. I don't really get what that means anymore, because in Canada, we're all minorities. We're all 10% of Canada. There's no major, in some suburbs, there may be, a race that is more prevalent, but the term minority is ridiculous. We're dealing with people who are. All right. Yeah, it's really unnerving when you think about all the people who break the law and think they can get away with it. So, I haven't pulled out footage that I've had for over a year now, but when I do, I'll make sure to advertise that footage and title it properly, because I don't want these people thinking that you outsmarted me. I don't want these people thinking that you got the better of me. I'm a poker player. I've been playing since I was 5. You ain't gonna see my fucking hand till you're basically in cuffs already, bud. So just hold your pants on and keep it real. I got some very, very incriminating evidence that's gonna be damning for people in a court when I take them and put them and sit them down and we find out what the fuck's really going on, right? But we're talking in excess of thousands of dollars. So stay tuned for that video. It'll be a succession of videos. I'll probably do about 10 videos on that. But after that, I fucking care. I'll give you the update when they're rotting in a cage, and I tell you where they're being put and what cells. But for now, I still collect info, and I've been doing this a long time. It's not like I just started this yesterday. I really strongly believe that there are good people watching over Canada who don't mean harm and intend fully to put the evil in prison. So, or worse. Like, you got to remember, Secret Service is secret. You don't know what the fuck they're gonna do every time. All you know is they exist. But let me just be really real. You would never know if you're being watched. You would never know. Just because you see a black truck out front, tinted windows, this and that, you should see the shit these people have. They know every phone conversation you've ever had. You wear a watch, they know every fucking whispered word you've ever said to someone that you're like, hey, come over here, now whisper in your ear. They can fucking hear that. My phone's microphone is so good, it can pick up voices in the basement while I'm upstairs in the bedroom. So imagine what's on your wrist, and pick up equally as good. And then you have to think how easy it is to hack these smart devices with zero antivirus software, and you click on everything with your phone. Your phone is linked to your watch. You just got hacked, bitch. You'll never know it, but it's already been done. And these people who do this for a living aren't doing it to, most of the time, 90% of the time. You could have a bad apple that's using the tech improperly, but they do have people who oversee it later, but not as many as you'd think. But the ones who do oversee it, they do not fuck around. So, you know there's a CIA, you heard of the FBI, have you heard of the NSA? Well, there's like 16 different organizations you've never heard of that watch you, besides those 6 or 5 that you can name. And that's what makes them secret, bud. In a building with 600 employees, 2 of those employees are always Secret Service. And they have links to the online section of every company so they can look up information on every person in that company and then all the doings of the company itself. Because some companies are foreign and they have to be watched. Now, again, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. Most of you don't even have a business of your own, but if you owned a business and you moved to Japan and you're a Canadian citizen, you would be watched so closely for the rest of your life, just so you understand that. So when somebody comes to Canada, starts a business, starts hanging out with locals, gets on Instagram, starts a feed, they start selling scooters online, or at a local business they'll start selling scooters. Well, where are these scooters from? Oh, they're from overseas, right? So there's one overseas business that this person came here, started, and the wholesale price, the dollar amount, goes overseas. It doesn't stay in Canada, right? It's not made in Canada. So there's a strike one for that person. And they do this about 3 or 4 or 5 times before they start, okay, well, this person's business is just absolutely taking money out of Canada, charging a premium for a product. That's going to be the next thing that they're going for. Watch, just wait. And other countries already do this. Most countries in the world don't even allow people to buy real estate in them. Australia has a tax, I think it's 18% tax. The tax is even higher in other countries for if you want to purchase real estate. But there's a lot of things after that that also are taxed heavily. So you have to look at what business you're running and if you're even helping the country you live in to prosper, right? And so it's basically foreign investors buying up local businesses or taking away money from local businesses that already are here, right? That there are scooters that are made in Canada, right? But they undercut them. So that's another thing they're watching right now, especially on Amazon. Canada is going and asking all third-party sellers if they feel that Amazon is not undercutting them, but stealing their same. So I'll give you an example. If I knit a sweater with a Spider-Man logo on it, and you can get that same sweater in China for $4, that's made in China, wholesale price, sold in China and all that, then and you put your business on Amazon after seeing my business on Amazon, that's what they're looking for right now. To see if Amazon is kind of knocking off businesses. I don't know what the term they're using is. It's actually quite high tech. It's also new. Like this is newer because of online, right? So China is able to manufacture anything that you can make here. Not saying it's going to be the greatest quality. I'm saying anything you can make in Canada, they are making in China tenfold daily. You may make 100 a year, they're making 1,000 a day. So a lot of the factories in China are actually being, they're not even, they say this is what they say, that a lot of the factories in China that were making products for, bulk sales and things like that, they're actually slowing that big time right now. So we'll see in the coming years if there is a price increase on things to purchase that were made in China, right? There's a saying right now that everything is cheaply made and it's also cheap. So cheap gets you cheaply made. That's not always true. I mean, if we're talking about steel and things like that, yes, maybe harder steels, maybe healthier fruits and vegetables, canned fruits and vegetables made with grown with organics rather than synthetic fertilizers, pesticides used on them instead of organic pesticides and methods to curb pests entirely. They're not doing that because it's so inefficient cost wise. So as we move into a new age, the new age isn't really moving into us. And that's what I'd like to see happen is a bit people catch up with the rules of the game. So this is how you win at the game. First, you understand the game, and then you understand the rules that have to be followed in order for you to succeed. And that's all equations. It's all, uh, language times math times business sense. And again, if you don't own a business, you're never going to succeed. You're never going to be able to source out products that are made in Canada. In 10 years, we're losing made in Canada right now. They set up all our potato and our anything, any commodity that we have. They're setting us up for failure right now so that they can buy these companies while they're failing and not succeeding. And then next year, year after, once these are owned by foreign investors, then they'll get the bailouts when the potato famine starts. And oh, there's no good potatoes this year. They're all rotten, droughted. Oh shit, here's $25 billion bailout for all you foreign investors, right? But 2 years before, had they just given a bailout to the potato farmers of the East Coast, they'd still be in business, right? And then all these restaurants would still be in business East Coast across Canada to the West Coast because we'd be buying potatoes from Canada, right? OMG, bud. So I gotta go poop. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Hash